Good morning, Flosstube. I'm Melva, and you're watching Stitching with Melva. It's been a long time since I've actually done a video. I think January was when I last did a video, so I wanted to try and do videos every month, and then of course life just happened, and then the more I put it off, the more overwhelming it became. So if you could see my table right now, there are huge piles everywhere. I have 3 huge piles, plus I have this stuff back here. So it's going to be a long video, so I hope you have some stitching, and I hope that you have a drink or maybe a snack. So let's get right to it. First of all, I want to thank some very special Canadian ladies who were so kind that they actually got me up past 500 subscribers. So I'm very happy that that happened. For the longest time I was at 499 subscribers, and I did a video chat with some ladies all across Canada, and I mentioned that, and right away they got me past the 500. So thank you so much, ladies. I so appreciate that. And my goal is to do a video once a month, so I'm not sitting here with 3 huge piles of things to show. So another exciting thing that's happening is next week I'll have been on Flosstube for a year. So probably I'll do something special at the end of April, just for a bit of a celebration of those 2 milestones. I couldn't do it today because, again, it took all my energy just to get ready for this video. So I do apologize that we're just going to postpone the celebrations just for a couple more weeks. So what I've done is I've kind of mixed everything up just because that was easier for me to organize. So there will be some fully finished mixed in with some whips, just because it was easier to do it that way. So I do apologize. I do have my board, and we're going to start off with fully finishes and finishes. So some of the finishes I'm going to show you were start and a finish, and other ones were whips that I had. So this first one is called Daffodil Eggs. It's a Mill Hill kit, and it's actually all beaded, so there is no cross stitches at all. It's just all beaded, so the back looks beautiful because all you do is use the white thread. So this is up on my little Mill Hill tree right now because we're getting close to Easter. Then I also finished this one. This one is called Hopping Bunny. So he is cross stitch and beading. And then this one I finished for Valentine's Day, and it's just a Mill Hill love ornament with a little key on the bottom. So I still have that up, and I'll just keep it up all year round because love is important to have all year round, just not on Valentine's Day. And then another finish I had was the 0. This is from my perpetual calendar that I'm doing. That's all done on perforated paper. So I'll show you my other one that I'm doing that is a work in progress. But I work on my perpetual calendar on Saturdays. Okay, this next one that I didn't fully finish, sorry. I finished, it was an old whip. It's called Spring Hair, but I just wanted to show you what they wanted it to be finished, and I finished it without the border and without the little confetti dots. I didn't think it was necessary, and I don't want the border because if I frame it or if I make it into a pillow, if the border isn't straight, which it won't be with my sewing skills, then it would just bug me all the time. So I just left it without the border. So I did change a couple things. I did add a pop of color, so this was supposed to be done in the same brown and the flower, but I was like, I don't want a brown flower, so I just did it in some variegated pink. Okay, and then another finish I had were these bunnies. Now oh, there's a big piece of fuzz on there. I'm gonna finish these into pillows. And I've already finished the boy one beforehand, but then I finished the girl bunny. So they do have instructions on how to finish it as a pillow, and you actually don't finish it in a square pillow, you actually finish it that looks like the bunny. So again, that will be challenging for my sewing skills, but I'm going to be brave and take out my sewing machine and give it a whirl. Another one that I finished is called Cats and Crowns. So this one was pretty cute. This one on the other side is one that I'd finished before. It was called Teacups. So there's that one. There's a whole bunch in this series. So I think there's like a scissors one, and I don't know, I think I bought like 3 other patterns. So I'll work on those next. This one, I can't remember what this one is called, but I finished this up before Valentine's Day. Now the date on here is actually the date that my husband and I met, because that's the date that he wanted on there, not our wedding date. So we met in January the 6th in 2006. This one is a Shannon Christine design, and it is called Kiss Me. So this turned out a lot smaller than I thought it would. I think she had asked to do it on 14 count, and I actually had a 32 count. So I have more than enough room to do, I think I have an Easter one and a Christmas one, so I can do all 3 on this piece. And then this one I got off Etsy. It's called Happy Easter. And I do have a round frame, so I'm thinking I'm going to put it in that round frame, or I'm just going to get a hoop, because it works perfectly for a hoop finish. And the last one I have was an old whip, and it's called Peace House. And this was supposed to have a border around it, but I'm not a huge fan of borders, so it was just like a simple rectangular border, so I didn't think that it needed it. So there's that one done. Okay, now what I think I'll do, just gotta do some maneuvering here so I can go on to the next pile. Okay, I'm gonna show my Mill Hill kits that I've been working on first, just because I didn't want them to get lost. So this is a buttons and beads called Egg Hunt. And this is how much I got done. I think I'll continue to work on this in April to see if I can get it done in April, because that would be nice to have up for Easter. And then I started Luck of the Irish, so again another buttons and beads one. And this is how far I got on that one. Okay, so what I like to do is pick a whip. Usually it's a full coverage whip or a much larger whip that I have to work on every day. I don't have a set time, so I try and get 30 minutes in, but sometimes I do an hour or 2 hours on it. So it's not a hard, fast rule. And sometimes on the weekends I don't stitch on it. But in January, I finished almost 2 pages of this Artisy, Merry Folks Greeting You. So I started in the top left-hand corner, and I'm doing it 2/1 10th stitch on 25 count. And that's how far I got. So I almost have 2 pages. It's just a little bit right here that I didn't get done. Oh, that is a rogue thread. So this isn't too bad. There isn't too much confetti, like the background is really fast. Definitely in the toques. Sorry, I'm Canadian, we call them toques. And there's a little bit more confetti in them. Okay, so then in February, I worked on my Resurrection of Christ. And this is a really bad picture, but it gives you some idea of what it looks like. Now, I didn't get a full page finish on this one, and then I just stopped working on it, so I was like, I'm not going to force myself to work on something that I don't want to work on anymore. So I got pretty close, but there's like a lot of one-off stitches that need to be done, and that's probably why I got frustrated, because I hate just going in and doing like 1 or 2 stitches of a color. So next time I work on this, I will make sure that I finish the full page. I actually got this loaded onto Markup RX, so I feel it's going to be a lot easier now than to work off the paper pattern, because the paper pattern is in color, and I have a really hard time with patterns that are in color. I prefer black and white. And then in March, I didn't have anything that I worked on every day. So in April, I took out, I just call it my sheep one. So basically, I didn't think of this. It was another lady who took all of the sheep virtues as well as another pattern, and then she created a border. So I'm just working on the middle one, and then the sheep virtues are going to go around this one, and then there's a border around. So this is, I just want to fill in the sheep and the flowers, and then this will all be fill in. So when I go to my stitching days that I go to once a month, I can just take this and fill in and not have to worry about I'm making a whole bunch of mistakes. Okay, down 2 piles. That's exciting. Okay, so the next thing that I do is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, excuse me, I need a drink. I work on a whip or whatever I feel like working on. Thursdays, I like to work on Christmas patterns. So in January, I took out this one. Now, I don't know if you remember way back when, but I had started this one, but I didn't write down what colors I used, and then for some reason I took out the colors, so I had no idea. So I just decided to start it again and pick new colors. I didn't get very far, however, because in January I just didn't feel like working 1 over 1. So this is 1 over 1 on the 30 count, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I just got part of the hand of the clock done. So then what I did is I took out my Bothy threads cut through North Pole House and started working on that. And I actually got quite a bit of stuff done. So I am using everything in the kit, including the 14 count Aida. Their Aida is so soft, it's like butter. So I actually did a lot of work. I finished all of this, went up here and finished that, finished all this bottom here. So the thing with Bothy Threads kits, especially the cut through ones, they look like blobs until you actually put in the back stitch. So these fish don't look like anything right now, but once I put in the back stitch, it will basically pop to life. So I'm really still enjoying working on this. So in April, I'm just going to continue working on this Bothy Threads kit. Then on Fridays, I like to work on Halloween. So I took out this Buttons and Beads Which Way. And I actually got a lot of stuff on her done as well. Oh, here, I'll put it up on the board so it doesn't go through. So I got all of this part here, all the way up here, all the way down here, filled in more of this. And as you can see, I couldn't wait to put the beads on, so I don't follow the rules. So they're like, do all the cross stitches first. I'm like, I'll do what I like. So I'm such a rebel, right? Yeah, so she's looking really good. And then before that, I was doing the Artisty Halloween minis. And I worked on the cauldron with the potion in it. This one is done on 18 count Ada. And I almost got all of it done. I just need to fill in a little bit here. But I also got this put on Markup XP. And so next time I pull this out, it's going to be a lot easier to work with it. So I'll definitely finish this one, come up here, finish this one, and then move upwards. Okay, and so now I feel like switching my Halloween one because I didn't really feel like working on the Which Way anymore. So I've taken out my chopping maul, and this Friday I will work on my chopping maul. So I want to finish up this one right here, and then this is just all fill in. So again, I could take that to my stitching day and just fill in the black. That would be easy enough to do. And I still need to take out Chucky in this because it is 1 square off. So that will be a project as I go along, but I'm in no rush to do it. And then, like I said, on Saturdays, I work on my perpetual calendar. So right now I'm just working on the number 7 here. And so for this calendar, I actually picked all of my own colors. I didn't really like lots of their color schemes, so I just went through my DMC, and if I liked a color, I just found a color that went with it. And then on Saturdays, I also work on one of my monthly pieces, and right now I've been focusing on the floral postcards. So I'm working on May right now, which is Lily of the Valley. And I finished April's, which was Sweet Peas, so I can show you both of those now. I'm just doing it all on the same piece of fabric, and then I will make little pillows out of this and put them up in monthly. So there's April and May. So these actually call for variegated floss, but what I do is I only pick the variegated floss that I feel is going to make an impact. So for this one in May, definitely this leaf is variegated. The little Lily of the Valleys are variegated, but this dark green is actually just a DMC. And then I'm doing all of the outline, and this, that's all variegated. So when it comes to the flowers, like I think this one is just a DMC, but I did use the variegated on the Sweet Peas. So I'm just picking and choosing because, again, you know, it starts to get quite expensive if you're doing everything with variegated floss. So I do have a big collection of variegated floss. So I do enjoy using it, but if I can get away with using the DMC, sometimes I do that as well. And then on Sundays, I work on stockings as well as my nativity sets. So right now I'm working on a shepherd. So I'm just going to show you the pattern. These patterns are very not user-friendly, so they use the same symbol for like 3 different colors. So if you don't have the actual key, there's no way that you're ever going to be able to stitch this. It would just be impossible. So this is how far I've gotten on him. And then I also work on my stockings. I'm just going to put the pattern back on here so I don't lose it. So I was working on my daughter's stocking. This came as a kit and I used everything in the kit. And what I've been doing is just trying to work my way down and fill in the holes that I left and do the back stitching, because this was back in the day when I was like, how long could it take to do back stitching? And apparently it takes a long time, and I know that now. So I've been working on his face and just sort of filling it in and moving my way down. I'm not too concerned about the outside here because that'll go fast, but I really want to get this part, the back stitching, done, and I left a lot of blank spaces. So yeah, I worked all on here, up here, and did that, did his face, did his hat. So he's looking really, really good. But then I did need a break from him, so I started my son's stocking, which is called Father Christmas by Cooler's Designs. So this is a terrible picture, but this is what they gave you. Cooler Designs pictures always look terrible. So this is full coverage, and I just started it, so I'm really enjoying doing this. I just left it in the Q-snap because you can see everything. But I took this to my stitching day because just doing this fill in here is quite easy. But it's going to be lovely. So his is the one I'm furthest behind on the stocking, so I wanted to actually get his moving along, because I've changed his stocking like 3 times. This is the 3rd one. So I'm positive this is the one that I want for him. And the funny thing is, he wouldn't care which stocking he got, but for me it was very important. So he was a little bit more challenging to find the right stocking for him. Okay, and now we'll just talk about the whips that I worked on from January till now. So my birthday's in April, so I got the Nora Corbett Aries, and I started in on her. And she is just stitching up so lovely, just like all Nora Corbett's do. I just love the colors, and it's such a joy to stitch on. And I just got the regular fabric, the 32 count, I think natural linen it called for, just because I wanted her to be what everybody's looking at, not the material. And then I started on small red hearts. So this is a 36 count linen that I'm doing mine on, and I'm using Weeks Dye Works Snowflake. So it does look like it's just white, but it has very, very, very pale pink and very, very pale blue in it. So in person you can see it. On the camera it is not going to show up. And that's how far I got that. So I'm doing it 1/2 because that's what I like to do on 36 count. And then I worked on my tarot cards, the Emperor. This is also on 36 count, and I'm doing it 1/2. And I actually got quite a bit of stuff done. This, for a small thing, packs a big punch. There is a ton of stitching in these tarot cards. So these tarot cards are going to take me a long time, but they're cats, so I am willing to put in the effort. That's where he is. And then way back in January, I took out this whip and unfortunately didn't really get too much stuff done on it, but that's okay. I got some more progress. So this is Leopard Shoe. I remember in my video I had high hopes that I was going to finish this. For some bizarre reason, I thought that was possible, but no, not even close. So I just brought the shoe over and filled in some stuff up here and filled in more here. But yeah, I have the whole shoe to do and then the back stitching. So still a ways to go on this. And then I started a new project for my friend. She is a great baker. And so when I saw this pattern, I just thought of her, and it says, "Bake the world a better place." Now, I got all the colors and then I started stitching it and I was like, I don't like these colors at all. They looked odd to me. So what I did is I went through my specialty floss and picked out colors from there. So these are the colors I picked. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. This is the original color. So it's like orange and pink together. And I like orange, I like pink, but these oranges and pinks, they're just too bright and I didn't like them at all. So I don't mind changing colors. I don't change colors with DMC though, because it's too overwhelming for me. I change colors by just going through my hand-dyed floss, because then it's like fewer colors to look at and I find it easier to do. So I did keep some of the original colors, like all the grays I kept, and this is ecru and I kept that. And then I think this yellow is a DMC, because I wanted more of a contrast between this yellow and this yellow. Yeah, and then I'm doing the back stitching as I go, and it's sort of what I call old school back stitching, where they go around each square, and I don't really like that anymore. So I'm actually doing it like more on the diagonal, so these cookies look a little bit rounder than they would have. And then this is done, I think, just on a 32 count ivory. Okay, and then I also started, it's called Peter Cotton Knits. And I just went through this pattern, and if I had the hand-dyed floss, I used it. And if not, I just subbed the DMC, although I did buy this green here because I wanted that to have the same look. And this is how far I got on this. So this is really fun. I'm going to continue working on this for the month of April, because we are in Easter season. I also started this Lizzie Kate Claire O'Hare. So she does have a partner named Henry, and I do have him as well. And the fun thing about this pattern is all the little fun things like the basket and the hat and the gardening tools all came with it as a set. So it's actually pretty fun. And they give you instructions on how to complete it as a stand-up, which I will absolutely need. So I brought this to my stitching day because it was just all fill in. So it's easy to do fill in. You don't have to make a mistake. And then the last one that I started is called Rabbits in the Round. And it looks like this, and I'm using the 32 count, I think just an ivory or an ecru, And then the house wine is Classic Colored Works. And this is how far I got on that. So again, I'm going to continue working on this for the month of April as well. And then I'm also going to add in April, because I usually work on her in April, is the April Fairy. I haven't taken out her floss and stuff yet. She's still packed away, so I do have what I've worked on so far. So basically she's all done in white. That's why I put her on a bright pink background so you'd be able to see her. There, and that's all the stuff that I've worked on in the past 3 months. I do have some haul to share, because I did do some buying over Christmas, so look out, it's crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. So I do apologize for that. So this one is Tiny Modernist Christmas Terrarium. I just got this one at my stitch day. I got a Mill Hill Kit Gingerbread Cottage. I've wanted this one for a very long time. I just think it's so sweet. And this is a Satsuma Street kit called Cool Kid. And I got this Ink Circles Assembly Required, and I got it with floss and fabric called for. I think I'm going to save this for my physiotherapist. Thankfully, so far I haven't had to go back to physiotherapy, but the last time I went, I had to go for like 9 months, just because of my car accident that I talked about before. So I won't go into it again, but it would be nice to sort of give him a gift, because he did actually help me a lot with my pain management. So I will have to go to physiotherapy for the rest of my life, and probably for not just a couple sessions, probably be like, when I go back, it'll probably be for another like 5 months or whatever. So I thought it would be nice to give him something that they can put up in the clinic. And this one I talked about before, but I hadn't received it yet. It's called Sign from Heaven, and it says, when a cardinal appears, a loved one from heaven is near. So I just think this is so beautiful. My dad's favorite bird were cardinals, and I would like to do this in his honor, and then just find a place, like probably near the bottom or something, and do his year of birth and year of death, just as a memory of his life. Okay, another crinkly bag coming out. A couple more Mill Hill kits. So this is Love Cooking, because I do love cooking, so I thought that would be fun to just keep on my tree. And this one I thought was so pretty, the mason jar with the flowers in it. And then this one was just too cute, the spring chick. So you actually, I think you do the shells separately on the perforated paper, and then you attach them to the chick. So he's sort of a little bit 3D. And this one I've loved for a long time, the gumball machine. I remember when I was little, one of my sisters got a gumball machine for Christmas, and I was so jealous that she got that gumball machine. And so now I have my very own. This is Heartstring Samplery, V is for Valentine. This is so pretty. And I just got all the threads with that. And this is a Heart and Hand Red Bird Sampler. And this is I almost said Halloween, it's Valentine's Day, called Hugs and Kisses. And this is Snowman with Gingerbread by Jim Shore. So it's perforated paper. And this is Antique Scissors and Spools. So this is what I was talking about with the cats and crowns. So I got this one. I've done the teacups. There's a birds one that I have. There's a key one that I have. There's the baskets and bunnies, but I don't really like that one, so I don't think I'll do that one. And then one last thing that I got were, I love the Hands-On Designs block party. So I have the Meow one, I have the Mend one, and now I have the Java one. So I got the adjusted, I think it's 28 count Brandywine linen. Okay, that's it. We made it. Hooray! It wasn't that bad. So I hope you enjoyed catching up with me. I did miss all the comments, so I know I have to do better. So I hopefully will see you in a couple of weeks so we can do the April wrap up and then put in some celebrations as well. So I hope you're doing well, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.